Alrighty, how's everybody doing today? Super excited to have you guys here with us for our episode of One Reset Away, the podcast. And in this episode, we're going to talk about an Olympian, gold medalist, and international superstar, Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, before we get into the actual description of the program for today, we want to give a very big special shout out to everybody who's watching the program, who's ever liked, shared, and subscribed to the channel, and who's continuing to spread the message of self-leadership and empowerment across the world, right? One Reset Away is a concept that we've developed that reinforces the premise that we all can change and that we all can make better decisions if given the opportunity to. And this episode is not going to be a bad session, but nonetheless, it's an open case study to further show how we are all one reset away from making better decisions and from moving our lives in the direction that we truly desire to go in. And none of us are exempt from needing a little bit of self-correction, keyword self, when you're able to correct yourself. So look, we're gonna transition into video, but before we get to the video, what I want you guys to understand is this, right? Sha'Carri Richardson is an international superstar, Olympian, gold medalist. She's someone's daughter, someone's granddaughter, someone's cousin, right? And we all can be put in situations unexpectedly that causes us to make a snap decision and make a snap judgment that may or may not be in our best interest. But we're gonna be crystal clear that this is not a bad session for Sha'Carri, right? This is nothing more than an open discussion as to how we all can be on point a little bit better, more diligent, more aware, and better astute to our surroundings so that we don't inadvertently trip ourselves up on our way to our destination and preventing ourselves from being even more successful in our lives and in our careers, right? It's a few moments inside of this exchange that we're going to identify and further show how what we consider a reset button could have been hit, right? It's that split second that generally we get before we go further into making a mistake, or before we go further into making things worse for ourselves, and we have an opportunity to kind of do some damage control so that we don't make things even more difficult to recorrect, right? I had a good friend of mine say something to me that had always stuck with me, right? And at times we can get caught up with trying to plead our case and explain ourselves and explain away those things that we think is going to benefit us and work in our favor, but we can actually make things worse sometimes too, right? And nobody is exempt from that because we all human. And what my partner told me, he said, you know, it's all right to be right, but sometimes ain't the right time to be right, right? You could be right, but right now might not be the right time to be right, which is to say, you got to know when to hold what you got and kind of go with the flow and leave things alone and let them work themselves out from that point of you stopping yourself from over-explaining in a way of trying to be right, right? We all have what I consider a default identity, and your default identity is the instinctive way that we tend to handle things, and none of us are exempt from that either, right? The environment shapes and conditions us to handle things in a particular way, whether it be good or bad. And when we learn how to handle things in a particular way, many times we don't change this approach, even though we change the environments that we go into. So it's almost like operating on outdated programming without looking at it like that, but that's exactly what we do in many instances. So, you know, just looking at this situation overall before we even get into the video, I wonder if you guys can agree with what I said so far, right? Is that we do have an opportunity to change things before they get worse, and we do have to understand beforehand that right now might not be the right time to be right. So again, we're not gonna bash our sister Sha'Carri. That's not what this is. This is nothing more than an open case study, an open reset lab to further show how we all are just one reset away from making a better decision that can put us in a position of strength and continue our forward progress and our forward motion towards success. So look, if you're down with that, let's jump right into the presentation for the day.
Would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant
McDaniels
McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane. You're flashing them to get out of your way, are you? Let's give you a path to get past them.
If you listen to, let me pause this. Now, if you listen to the police officer, now he's riding in his car, Sha'Carri is riding in her car. Sha'Carri does not know what this man is saying while he's trailing her, okay? None of us would. So just, put ourselves in this scenario, right? Because all this is an open reset lab case study, right? If you got the police behind you and they got the lights on you, you don't know if they're calling for backup, you don't know what they're saying, you don't know what he's preparing to do, but he's talking out loud, which is to talk to himself, like we all need at times, to further reinforce his modus operandi with himself, or to further reinforce his chain of action when he has a chance to encounter Sha'Carri. So he sees her speeding up, he's talking to himself, basically reinforcing the actions that she's making so that he can predetermine how he's going to handle this. And let me know if you guys can't hear it. I can hear it too. And the video isn't that long, guys. It's about 4 minutes. I'm gonna pause it in between. But the first reset button is the speeding decision, right? If you're
100,
speeding
101, passing the car at 101,
you're going above the speed limit,
103, 104.
Environment, you want to be aware that you can't get pulled over. And you want to already be aware that if you do get pulled over, you want to take things slow.
It's going to be 429 northbound at Stony Brook for a tag. On a gray Aston Martin and an occupants.
And see, now the police officer is speeding up. Hold on. Now, let me pause it right here. I gotta pause it because if you see, he was trailing behind her, but he wasn't going as fast as her. But then when she got to an open area where he could kind of, accelerate and get closer to her, he sped up and then hit his lights, which is to also say, as you see, the first choice or the first topic of the video is the reset button, the speeding decision where she could have hit the reset button. He drove behind her long enough to give her a chance to slow down. Can I get a witness? Oftentimes, God always gives us an opportunity to get ourselves out of this mess that we get ready to get ourselves into. I've been there. We all been there. We all been pulled over, right? We all then got into some stuff that when you look back on it, you had an opportunity to prevent what you got into, right? So we got to look at this from both ways, guys. The police officer rode behind her while she was speeding. At least this video is 4 minutes long. It's 1 minute and 21 seconds. He rode behind her for a full minute and 21 seconds, allegedly, right? Before he hit the lights on her. If he knows that this is Sha'Carri Richardson in the car or not. I don't know that part, but now the man is exiting the car. Body cameras on, but that's I'm assuming this is how that he's getting the footage because of the body camera.
I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm sorry.
Okay, pause it right here. Now the police officer comes around to the passenger side of the car, okay? Normally, they don't come around to the passenger side of the car. Normally, they come around to the driver's side of the car, okay? So by him coming around to the passenger side, I could be wrong, right? And we all going through this together. One Reset Away podcast, and what we're talking about is the multiple opportunities that this situation could have been minimized and or avoided, right? And this is an open case study for all of us to learn from. The police officer comes around to the passenger side of the car, which leads me to safely assume, I could be wrong, that he may have known who was in the car, right? And he didn't expect for this person to try to pull off on him and send him on a high-speed chase, Okay, normally they come around to the driver's side of the car so that, or so that he can get back to his car fast enough in case somebody tries to pull off on him, right? Sha'Carri rolls down her window so much that the officer can now rest his arms on the window and lean in the car. This is another reason why I'm assuming, I could be wrong, guys, that this man knew that Sha'Carri was the actual driver of the car. Police officers generally don't do this because they gotta practice safety at the same time, okay? The window rolled down. What to say and what not to say. Sha'Carri rolled the window all the way down, which is something that you do not have to do, okay? Especially if you're a woman, okay? You can crack the window and still communicate with the officer through a cracked window with your doors locked, okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This isn't against the law. I've never seen anybody get arrested for cracking the window, but still having the option, still having the opportunity to give your driver's license and registration, especially if you're a woman and you're fearing for your safety. When she rolled the window all the way down, this gave the officer a comfort zone to lean inside of the car and survey the internal environment of the car, which could potentially give him more ammunition to further the process into deeper legal ramification, right? He could look in the car, he could smell what was in the car. I'm not saying anything was in the car, but when you roll the window all the way down, you give the officer more opportunity to now accelerate more charges based on what he can see and what he can smell, because now he has a broader view of observation, right? This is for anybody, okay? We're gonna unpause the
Sergeant
video.
McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100, hold on.
You're
You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody,
Right.
cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so
Okay, now, if, as you can see, each time, so the entire time that the officer was talking, Sha'Carri wants to talk. This is not what you want to do. If the officer is talking, you want to remain quiet and let him talk, okay? Whether he's right or whether he's wrong, remain quiet and let him talk so that you can get a full scope and a full understanding of what you want to share and what you don't want to share. If you want to share anything at all, let's be clear. You do not have to give up any additional information aside from what they asked you for, which is your driver's license and registration. Had we had this encounter, and when he asked for driver's license and registration, had the young lady gave the driver's license and registration and not said anything, this situation potentially could have been resolved in a much less lengthy fashion. The video would have been shorter. I'm not sure how the news media gets all of this stuff, maybe TMZ, I don't know. But when the man asks for driver's license and registration, you have the right to remain silent. Comply, give your driver's license and registration, leave it alone. Did you know you were going over the speed limit? I'd rather talk to my lawyer, and or I didn't realize it, I apologize, and or am I getting a ticket for speeding? Yes, you are. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Why? Because you're at a disadvantage and you're at a deficit with the law enforcement officer who has a body cam on and he has a weapon. You're at a disadvantage, right? In the hood, we say he got the drop on you. He already got the gun on him, as you know, and he already has the power of the law on his side, which you already know. You already have the financial means and resources to afford a lawyer. You let your lawyer do the talking for you, whether the officer is right or wrong, okay? Whether he's right or wrong, you don't worry about that right now. You worry about compliance right now, not talking too much, and not having yourself put in a even more compromising position by giving him additional ammunition that he can use in his defense and to attack you with legally.
Sir, I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
Explaining what she shouldn't do. You let your lawyer explain for you.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
Sir, I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around.
Let me pause this. This is maybe the second or third time that the man asked for the license and registration, and the young lady has not complied with the officer yet, right? And the reason I'm emphasizing this is because you could potentially be making a situation worse by not giving the license and registration in order to give yourself chance to think, okay? You're talking, but you're not complying. So what you're doing is you're shutting down your own brain and not allowing yourself to think. License and registration. If you give him what he asked for and you're complying from the onset, it now puts him at ease, and now you can think of what your next move is. Oh, I don't need to say anything else. Let me ask, can I call my lawyer? Yeah, did you know you were speeding? I would rather you talk to my lawyer, right? Now, we talking about one reset away, guys, and we talking about the reset button. And we're not bashing Sha'Carri, right? This is a open lesson for all of us being humans and put in unexpected situations. And these unexpected situations have a broad degree of unpredictability. And what we don't want to do is make the situation worse when we have the power and we have the control, especially, right? Especially if you know you may be in the wrong. If you know you may be in the wrong, don't try to explain your way out of it. Don't try to do that. If you know you have the means and the resources for a lawyer, you let your lawyer deal with that. You give the license and registration, you remain quiet, you remain silent, which we all have the right to do, and you let due process take course and potentially come back in your favor, as opposed to giving too much ammunition by being verbose and talking too much.
My phone was sitting here and it's slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I communicate.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, can you? I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intentions of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show support.
No, like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go to please, sir.
Okay. Now, if we listen, now the officer is remaining calm, okay? He's leaning in the car because, for one, he's surveying the perimeter. He want to see if he could smell something, if he could see anything else to add additional charges. For two, he knows that the body cam is on, okay? And let me say this in Sha'Carri's defense. When the man said you're going to jail, at that point, he already has his mind made up. This is why we transition to the third point, the explaining carousel. When talking goes from clarifying yourself to self-sabotage, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. They tell you this. They telling you this. They telling you, aside from what we engaged you about, anything else will be used against you, right? So if you engage me, I'm talking about myself now. If you engage me and say, Jabbar, you speeding. So right now, as we speak, speeding is already what you're alleging I've done. Okay. If I start talking, now you can create different allegations. If I roll my window all the way down and let you lean in my car so you can smell, and let you see more in my car so you can observe more, now you have the opportunity to expand your allegations. And again, we're not bashing Sha'Carri. This isn't even about Sha'Carri personally. We're talking about the scenario that we all have to be aware of, guys. One reset away. The explaining carousel. Stop trying to explain away the mistakes in the moment. No, you let your lawyer deal with that. With Jabbar, what if we don't have money for a lawyer? Prepaid legal, network marketing and legal services, right? You don't put yourself in more of a deficit and make it harder for you to get the result that you want. No, you take things in incremental steps, step by step. License and registration, they always start off with license and registration. The best thing to do is to comply with license and registration because you're a thinking woman, you're a thinking man. When you give them what they ask for, it gives you those moments to think about how can I reset this scenario in my favor. Let me start the video back up.
Listen to me.
Please, sir, I really...
If nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Okay, I just got to pause it again. The man just said nothing you say is going to change that. He already has his mind made up. That's his judgment call. That's his right. Okay, that's a part of the authority that comes along with being a law enforcement officer. Nothing you say is going to change the fact that you're going to jail. At the point in time where he's telling you you're going to jail, the next question is, can I call my lawyer? That's it. You let your lawyer do the talking for you at this point because it's clear you can't talk yourself out of it.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jake?
Yes.
Sir, I really was not intentionally speeding at
That's
all.
even more scary.
Sir,
that means that you're doing
please,
things unintentionally on a
sir,
task that
please,
requires
please,
all
sir,
your attention.
Sir, please, please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail.
Okay, let me pause it right there. Now we switch over to the fourth point. The exit opportunity, how to leave the encounter with your dignity. Right? How to leave the encounter with your dignity. Now we all adults, right? Sha'Carri is an adult. When the man said that you're going to jail and there's nothing you can do to change that, he also said you're going to have a chance to make some phone calls. This is why you don't want to be talking too much so you can think and say, okay, I want to call my lawyer. See, now it's time to leave with your dignity, right? Now it's time to leave with your dignity. And I'm not in no means saying that you ever exchange your dignity. What I'm saying is the exchange is over when he just told you it's nothing you can do to change that and you're going to have an opportunity to make some phone calls, meaning I've already drawn my conclusion. He just told you this. But if you weren't talking too much, right, you would have had a chance to think your way out of the situation from embarrassing yourself even more. This goes for anybody. When the police pulls us over, stop talking. Let him talk or let her talk, okay? And you let them talk so you can determine what you do and don't want to say because you have the right to remain silent. It's time to leave with your dignity. There's nothing you can do to change that. You're going to have an opportunity to make some phone calls. Fine. You got my license and registration? Yes, sir, I got it, Mr. Brown. All right, I just want to make phone call to my lawyer. It's done. It's done. It's time to pack up show. Like Russell Simmons say, thank you for coming out. God bless and good night. It's time to leave.
I am towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I will do everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
Listen. Sir, please.
Listen, you have two options.
Please, sir.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car.
No,
Which do you prefer?
I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
Sir, I want to.
All right, so make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond. I would.
All right. God bless our sister Sha'Carri. From the video, all of these are allegations. We're not at liberty to make any judgments about how this is going to go either way. Of course, we're rooting for it. That's why we're doing the podcast, the One Reset Away podcast. All this is an open discussion as to how we all can be better prepared and better equipped. We believe our sister is going to be good after this. And hopefully she sees the video as well so that we all can, you know, as iron sharpening, if iron man sharpening the counters of his friend, we all can be better equipped and better prepared if we do get pulled over. Stop talking. You got the right to remain silent, which is the strongest response that you can give. License and registration, sir. Here you go. Boom. Did you know you were speeding? Can I call my lawyer? I mean, but did you know you were speeding? I would rather you talk to my lawyer. I gave you license and registration. I don't have nothing else to say. Okay, right? Right? Or if you wanted to say, yeah, I didn't realize it, but if you pulled me over, I understand that you got a job to do, right? Because you got places to go, he got places to go, we got places to go. We don't want to extend this roadside, I'm about to say roadside assistance. We don't want to extend this roadside encounter any longer, right? If you're driving fast because you're trying to get somewhere. Me being pulled over, the longer I keep talking, the longer I'm gonna be pulled over. This is why we gotta take our time and think, guys. But nonetheless, shouts out to Sha'Carri, shouts out to everybody who jumped on the One Reset Away podcast. We wanna get you guys an offer for the Reset Academy, right? Now the Reset Academy is an academy that we created to help in various areas of our lives, right? We got 38 reset systems to help you and me reset our behavior in different aspects of personal development. Also, scan that QR code for the 21-day identity reset. This is our flagship program where we help you reset your default identity in 21 days or less. We also got the masterclass for you too. So if you need a little more information, you need to really see in depth how the program works and how the process works, use that link that's scrolling at the bottom right there, oneresetaway.com/masterclass. Watch the presentation. After that, scan the QR code, get into the 21-day identity reset system, and join the Reset Academy where we giving you live lessons and the additional 38 reset systems. And we got other programs in there too. Everything is centered around us having the option and the ability to reset our behavior in various areas of growth and personal development. I mean, and who knows, right? If we ever get pulled over and we already have these reset systems in our possession, we've been practicing them and we've been executing them on a daily basis, we would know how to handle roadside situations like that, and we wouldn't end up putting ourselves in a compromised position. So look, see you guys on the next episode.